don't sell, don't develop. Some members of the family either deliberately decided, oh, government is not coming, let us take advantage and make some money for ourselves. They have gone out to sell. And these people who are buying are not also doing the right thing. If anybody comes here to make any protest, I think the person is not doing well.
Away from that, a group known as the Urobo Renaissance Society says the killing of the 4 military officers and 13 soldiers on a peacekeeping mission in Okwama community in Delta State was not done by the community people. In a statement, they condoled with the army, describing killers as yet to be identified unscrupulous miscreants disguising themselves as youth from Okwama community. It said the enemies of the community carried out the attack on the soldiers to give the community a bad name. The group, however, questioned the mission of the Nigerian army on the Okwama and Okoloba communities and wondered how the civilian members of the peace mission survived to tell the story, but no soldiers survived. The statement urged the president, Delta State governor, and military authorities to stop the army's alleged continued attack on innocent civilians and the destruction of properties in Okwama community and allow for proper investigations to unravel the true state of events and bring perpetrators to justice. Now, yesterday, the Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborowori met with President Bola Tinubu over the incident. Briefing State House correspondent, the governor said the casualty figure and extent of damage to the Okwama community are still being collated. Governor Oborowori said the incident was unfortunate and assured that there would be no more attacks on the villages if there were any before.
Not one-sided story. But like I told you about what has been happening before now, the peace accord. So it's not one-sided story. You know the terrain of that place, the Okwama terrain, you must go by boat. Where I visited was Bomadi. Like I said, we had a meeting yesterday with the security heads. The JTF commander was there. We've all agreed. All the security agencies are putting heads together. We're on the same page to fish out the real culprit, because innocent people will not suffer from it. And they have assured that no innocent person will be victimized.
Also, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio said those involved in the killing of soldiers in Delta State may be mercenaries. The Senate President said this during a debate on Tuesday. The Senate also asked the federal government to immediately compensate the families of the soldiers killed in Okwama community. Meanwhile, the military joint task force barred journalists from covering the Delta State governor's assessment tour of the Okwama community in Uyeli South local government area. Newsmen said that JTF operatives barricaded the major entries to Okwama on Monday, preventing access to the community. A journalist, Ogenekaru Arwapo, said he tried to access the community but was harassed by the military personnel even after properly introducing himself.
I should have been able to use boats from the Okwagbe to Bomadi. I would get there in less than an hour. But because the waterway has been blocked by military, I had to go through the roads, like 3 hours of journeying. All I wanted to do was get passage from the military base in Bomadi. And what would follow was get out of this place now. I was on my way out when they called me back and said I was one of the persons who killed military officials. They just ridiculed me. And I think that was not enough. They beat me up. I kept echoing, I am only doing my job.
In the meantime, the Nigerian army is accusing the Okwama community of resorting to propaganda. The army also denied any form of reprisal against the community. A conflict expert, Temiso Etiosa, spoke on ways to de-escalate the crisis.
Apparently, both parties are agreed. They've lost members. So I think the army should go about this in a peaceful manner, and members of the community should also cooperate with them, with the army, because we don't want to see any bloodshed again. We don't want to see. Let members dialogue. And if there's, people that can weigh in, important figures in the society, important figures in Nigeria, peace-loving Nigerians, presidency, advocate, and all of that, if they can come together, and that's a way forward for peace.
Still to come, reactions as court denies IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu bail. Stay with us. continued the trial of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. It followed the dismissal of the IPOB leader's bail application by the court, which he said was another major setback for the healing process and return of peace in the region. Justice Binta Yako on Tuesday rejected Kanu's bail request and granted an accelerated hearing of the criminal case against the IPOB leader. Speaking on behalf of other Southeast lawmakers who were in court, Ugo Chinyere stated that granting Kanu bail would have provided an opportunity to open doors for discussion to bring about peace in the Southeast. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, spoke to newsmen after the court proceedings.
Disappointed that today bail was refused. On what grounds? The Supreme Court on 15 December criticized very severely the revocation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's bail in several pages, which we are going to make available to the media. At pages 19, 20, and 21 of Justice Agem's judgment, he even suggested that the impartiality of the trial court in revoking Nnamdi Kanu's bail is suspect.
He also accused the DSS of maltreating the IPOB leader.
They eavesdrop on our conversations. In the little cubicle room of 10 by 10 where we consult with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they have secret listening devices and secret photographic and videographic devices. They listen to our conversations secretly. They take our secret photographs. And we adduced this evidence before my Lord. They confiscate our legal documents. They don't allow us to take notes. Pray. You may be lay men and lay women. The general public may not be lawyers, but is this fair?
And now we bring you news from around the world.
A federal appeal court has frozen Texas' controversial immigration law, one of the toughest laws of its kind enacted by a U.S. state in modern times. That's a wrap on the news this morning. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. The NDDC has called on contractors in Rivers State to return to site. The Rivers State government has been urged to replace Ruwama. Delta State governor met with President Tinubu over killing of soldiers in Okwama community. And on the foreign scene, an appeal court has frozen Texas' new immigration law. The news was edited by Chioma Ezenwafo. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I am Ifechukwu Moanyeli. Many thanks for listening.
The Elena